We're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
The latest on an alleged plan to assassinate Donald Trump. This man grabbed by police at a packed rally in Las Vegas, and ABC's Pierre Thomas has new details in Washington.
Weighing up the mood of conservative America in a gun show in West Virginia. Among the rifle racks and ammunition, there's anger and dark talk of looming conflict.
After Senator Rand Paul was allegedly assaulted at his home in Baltimore.
We are witnessing a radicalization of libertarians all across the country.
Dear viewers, we have just received word that Libertarian Death Squad are taking over.
We've come to take our country back.
He also worries its civil war could be on the way back.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
That's on the right road.
He's not the only
Stand
one.
back
Robert
and
Brown
stand
sells
by.
vintage
But I'll tell
guns
you
from
what.
the
I'll
19th
tell you what.
century.
Somebody's got to do something about Antifa.
Her son, 19-year-old Horace Lorenzo Anderson, was shot and killed inside the then cop-free zone that persisted for weeks on Capitol Hill.
Over of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not.
It's taken just 4 weeks for that statement to be proved so spectacularly and alarmingly wrong. Reality, thousands of miles away, is now on here.
China is urging its citizens not to travel abroad as it struggles to contain the virus.
We will be standing up Christmas Island as a quarantine.
Go, Brandon, I agree.
Hey, by the way, China are now banned from entering the country.
Christmas ornaments, drywall,
declared that the coronavirus
name
presents
three
a public
things
health
that don't
emergency.
hang themselves. That's what the American people think.
Serious? Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
George, can you just wait while we...
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George. Just speak to the
I don't think George
microphone.
knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Just shut up, George.
Can somebody just mute George?
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
God damn it.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret gay lover hidden in your closet.
Ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie
Guys, can we please just calm down?
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm...
Okay, I can hear the governor very well.
Shut up, would you please shut up already? I'm running for fucking president, okay?
Yeah, we kind of already knew about it.
Know, Governor.
Congratulations, Governor.
Well, that concludes our Twitter space for today. Thank you to all of our...
Hold your horses, Elon. The real president is going to say a few words,
The devil, I'm going to kick your ass very soon. Hitler, you're already dead. Dick Cheney sounds like you'll be joining Hitler very soon. Klaus Schwab and George Soros, I'm putting both your asses in jail. And Ron DeSanctimonious can kiss my big, beautiful 2024 presidential ass. Trump 2024, baby. Let's go.
Florida man bumbles into election. Welcome back to Inside Four Walls. I am, of course, your host, James Madison. And just 2 days ago now, Ron DeSantis announced his presidential campaign, and the roast has been 48 hours in counting. That's right, folks. Like when I said a long time ago, there's a few episodes I said this in. I don't know which one's off the top of my head, but I said Ron DeSantis running for president is career suicide. And, man, it is not off to a great start. Then, when it was being speculated that he was going to be announcing on Twitter, I said it's a terrible fucking idea because overwhelmingly his supporters tend to be boomerific as hell, and boomers barely know how to use fucking Twitter. And Twitter Spaces began to crash. Now, there is a reason for that. A lot of people were saying that Twitter was unable to handle it, or, well, one side is saying Twitter couldn't handle so many people watching it. That's not true either. Twitter's had much larger, more active live streams than that. No, as we'll get into the episode, what actually happened was Twitter had never had so many people try to get onto a live stream all at once. I still don't know how much I believe that. So all at once. So many people logged onto a live stream that it crashed it, even though there have been live streams that have had many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of more people on them. I don't know. I think it was just an embarrassing day all around. It's a sign from the Kek god, Pepe, that Ron DeSantis should know his fucking place. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say a little thought here. Let them fight. I said Ron DeSantis running for president would be a terrible fucking idea. For quite a few fucking reasons. One, he promised the people of Florida when he was running for re-election that he had no interest in running for president. That his interest was in being the governor of, was in the interest of being governor of Florida. And then he decides to run for president, which, that's a big backtrack. And as I'll get into an episode later on about this. I don't think I'll have time to get into it today, but my nickname for Ron DeSantis is Zion Ron. And I'll get into why I'm going to call him Zion Ron in a later upload today. But Zion Ron, man, he's quite popular in Florida, and I will admit, he's one of the greatest governors he's probably the best governor we have in the entire country right now. And probably one of the best we've had in a very long time. Probably top 50, right? However, people in Florida aren't going to want him to run for president because they don't want to lose him. So they're going to vote for Trump to keep Ron DeSantis in Florida. Now, another angle to this too is Trump made Ron DeSantis. And I've talked about this before. Donald Trump made Ron DeSantis. Ron wouldn't have been elected in the first place if Trump didn't endorse him. He wasn't on track to win. He was on track to fucking lose. Trump endorsed him and he squeaked by with the thinnest of fucking margins. And then in re-election, he fucking stormed red wave for Ron DeSantis in his re-election. But Trump fucking made him. So now you're going to have Donald Trump looking at this guy, right? Everyone else running for president is running for a job. Right? Fair assessment, everyone else is running for a fucking job. Ron DeSantis is running because he thinks he can beat Trump. So to me, I'm looking at this like it's fucking Frankenstein. You know how like Frankenstein creates this monster and he creates him for the best of intentions. The Frankenstein monster turns on him. It's Megamind. That's what it is. Ron DeSantis is Jonah Hill's character. Right? I made you to be a good guy. You were supposed to be the best, better than all of them, and you became the bad guy. Look at you. And now I have to put you out. It's such a shame. It's tragic. Does that mean Donald Trump is Will Ferrell in this analogy? Oh, that's phenomenal. That would keep Will Ferrell up at night. Anyway, you kind of get the point, right? And with Trump, we know what we're getting. With DeSantis, we don't know what we're getting. So, Ron DeSantis, in my opinion, is fucking dead in the water, right? But everyone else is running for a fucking job. Vivek Ramaswamy is clearly trying to be vice president. And Nikki Haley is trying to raise her profile to raise money, speaking event type deal. Ron DeSantis thinks he can actually beat Trump, so Trump is going to go all fucking in on him. We're already seeing it. The same night he had this disastrous Twitter live space, Trump was fucking roasting the shit out of him. And since DeSantis is the only one who's actually trying to be president and not get a job, Trump is going to do everything he can to fucking destroy him. And I'm fucking here for it. Let them fight. Ron DeSantis is going to bring out a side of Trump we haven't seen in a very long time. And it already has. So that's enough fucking ranting. Let's get into the article. Ron DeSantis tries to make light of disastrous Twitter launch by saying he, quote, broke the internet, calls Biden a listless vessel, and lays out his 2024 blueprint after wobbly start. Really? DeSantis, you came off like a fucking listless vessel. Like this right here is literally the first. As you can see right here, this is the first 9 minutes of the live stream. This is just recording at that point into it. Just check this out. This is a fucking disaster. Everyone's joining.
All right, sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers, which is a good sign. All right, I'd like to just introduce the folks in the room here. So it's safe to say we wouldn't be making history without the man sitting next to me, Elon Musk. His decision to purchase this platform last year to restore it to its original mission as a beacon for free speech, and even to expose Twitter's past complicity with a government censorship regime.
It's so boring.
Might have surprised many, but not those of us who've known.
He's as emotional as Kristen Stewart.
Freedom to freedom, and his willingness to put his money where his mouth is.
And then the reverb happens because these two. This guy's a journalist, I guess. I'm not very familiar with him, but he's in the same exact room as Elon Musk is, and they both have their microphones on, so they're just hearing each other's feedback the whole time. Plus, Twitter was constantly crashing, and the audio was cutting in and out. It was just bad.
Elite institutions and corporate media. Go ahead and send a heart up if you want to say thank you to Elon. Governor DeSantis first drew my attention and support when I saw how he responded to the COVID pandemic and refused to believe that we found to be the many falsehoods that government experts and their media mouthpieces were feeding us. He kept Florida schools open, and as
you know what just happened? Ron DeSantis' signal dropped. He got dropped off the fucking live stream. Fucking, you'll love it. And this one right here from Reuters, which is Ron DeSantis ran into tech troubles during the launch of his 2024 U.S. presidential campaign, with Twitter Spaces crashing repeatedly during the Florida governor's live chat with Elon Musk. And the whole time he's like, I want to help America get back on track, and quite frankly, America needs a leader, not someone who's just gonna stir up a culture war. And it's like, who wrote your fucking script, dude? Ben Stein? My God.
Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce two individuals who've done more to loosen the...
Oh, there it goes. That's not me, that's them.
All right, sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers, which is a good sign. Let's see. So, are we on? Yeah, I think so. Just to simplify that.
Oh no. Oh darn. Oh golly gee Williker.
There's 382,000 people now.
2,000 people. You heard that, by the way. So watching right now is 297,000 people. They've had much bigger streams going.
Yeah, I think we've got just a massive number of people.
We saw it jump to 405,000. It doubled instantly. It's the amount of people trying to get on it at once, crashing it.
Like this someday. All right, we're just reallocating more server capability to be able to handle load here. It's really going going crazy.
I'm here.
I know. I think you broke the internet there. We had over 500,000 people in one Twitter space, and it was growing by like 50,000 a minute. So, congrats on breaking the internet there.
All right, folks. Carrying on. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced Wednesday he is running in 2024. The first official campaign video was released just before a disastrous launch, a Twitter Space conversation confirming DeSantis' bid. Twitter devolved into chaos, crashing multiple times as hundreds of thousands logged in to listen to the announcement firsthand. Published by Caitlin Carroll. Moving on. Ron DeSantis tried claiming that he broke the internet during his chaotic Twitter presidential campaign launch, but did so without breaking a smile. I like what you did there. The Florida governor the Florida governor and aspiring presidential. Let me turn on my brightness a little bit because I am just blind as a moe out here. Oh, my keyboard's not working. What the hell? Oh, there we go. New keyboard, figuring it out still. Moving on. While delivering a joke and appeared to make light of the haywire announcement, DeSantis did not crack a smile, although he did manage a brief grimace as he ended his speech. The tweet with the video clip said, quote, "What can we break next? A leg?" Just if you're looking for recommendations. During his conversation with Musk, DeSantis touted his record at dealing with COVID-19, taking veiled swipes at Donald Trump and promising to reverse everything President Biden was doing at the border. Now, something I can say in favor of Ron DeSantis here is he is likely going to hit Trump right where it fucking hurts. Because he's going to get him on the lock and be like, look, you were for the lockdowns. I did 2 weeks and lifted it. You did 2 weeks. But the thing is, there's going to be a lot of things that don't quite... Like, a lot of people who are thinking, oh, we got Trump with these fucking COVID things. You got to make sure you go razor thin with it. You got to make sure you precision that bitch. Because if you get Trump too much wiggle room, he's going to throw that argument back at you. What do you mean? I did it 2 weeks. I said after 2 weeks we needed to lift the ban so they wouldn't, these governors, these Democrat crazy governors and even some Republican governors refused to work with me, refused to lift the restrictions, even after many other states, many weeks in, lifted their restrictions, okay? Florida was not the first. Florida does have the best record, true. And that's why I, Donald Trump, endorsed Ron DeSantis for his first governor campaign. A campaign he was, in fact, losing until my golden touch put him in office. That's right, folks. Ron DeSantis wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. But, Pertel, let me ask a governor, what would he do in my exact position? And how DeSantis goes from there is completely on him, but that's just one example of one way Trump can go with it, and that's just in an on-the-fly without even really thinking hard about it, you know? And promising to reverse everything President Biden was doing at the border. Good, that's what you want to hear right now. He also attacked Disney, the NAACP travel ban to Florida, and Republicans' culture of losing, in a campaign launched with Elon Musk plagued by glitches on Twitter Spaces. The highly anticipated start of his 2024 presidential or White House run started 26 minutes late and crashed multiple times as hundreds of thousands of users tuned in to listen to DeSantis' conversation with the Twitter CEO. Quote, I'm running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback, DeSantis said, but we know our country's going in the wrong direction. We see it with our own eyes, and we feel it in our bones. Now, this fucking sad video, like, there's very little emotion. Watch this, just the lethargicness to it. It makes me sleepy.
Here's an easy cheat code. Get crazy fast.
Because, you know, DeSantis bros, right? When Trump first announced his thing, everyone was like, he's sleepy. He seems lazy. Where's Trump? Trump seems tired, man. Where's the energy? I was like, I think it's perfect. I think this was a phenomenal campaign announcement. He barely talked about 2020, and what it was is him saying we need to move forward and focus on winning the future, which is what I've been wanting to hear for the longest fucking time. And then DeSantis comes out with this, and it just is fucking sleepy. Sleepiness. Now watch it with me. And the music sucks.
Crime infests our cities. The federal government makes it harder.
Duh. What horror movie? Is this Pennywise? You know, I feel like there's gonna be a jump scare any fucking minute now.
For families to make ends meet, and the president floundered. But decline is a choice.
It's like a Christian. It's like
is attainable, and freedom is worth.
It's like a Christopher Nolan soundtrack.
Righting the ship requires restoring sanity to our society,
shit.
to
Here
our
we go
communities,
again.
and integrity to our institutions. Truth must be our foundation, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon virtue. In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
I mean, again, I like what he's saying. I like a lot of what Ron DeSantis has done policy-wise, but my God, what a boring, sleepy-ass fucking ad. Oh, goodness gracious. DeSantis also weighed in on climate change during a Fox News interview after the botched announcement, saying, quote, "I've always rejected the politicization of the weather." It appeared that DeSantis snubbed Fox for announcement. Something that the platform poked fun at by saying if viewers wanted to actually see or hear Ron DeSantis, they would have to tune in for his interview at 8 p.m. Famous last fucking words. You know what's really funny? Your stream on Twitter was crashing with barely 500,000 active users. Fox still manages to pull in more than that. So Ron DeSantis on Fox News would have probably done for Fox News what all of Anyway, if it was on Fox News could have handled an uninterrupted interview announcement. I mean, this is also so much egg on Elon Musk's face. With the amount of scrolling I had to do just to find the clips I showed you, I think there's probably some backdoor manipulation with Elon Musk trying not letting these clips show too much. Probably because, trying to attract advertisers, and that doesn't look good for advertisers. But the cat's out of the fucking bag, homie. It's a little dunsies for you. Musk at one point said during the event that the servers were strained, and the host blamed the glitches on the number of people tuning in, which he claimed were a good thing. It's not. It's really not. Because if it's crashing to the point where you can barely understand or hear what the announcement fucking is, it's not a good thing. Because your message is being chopped up and butchered because the amount of people trying to look at it. Meaning, with some people trying to look at it, no one got to hear you. It's not a good thing. That's a cope. Quote, "Just try to get it going. Listeners could hear it as it became clear frustration was growing. Moderator David Sachs was a tech entrepreneur close to Musk. Started to talk by claiming DeSantis was engaged in the first social media by taking history with the announcement." That's how it's written. That's not me misreading. That's how it's fucking written. I thought I was having a stroke. The event, however, is more likely to be remembered for its series of glitches, just like your series of fucking typos. Twitter users were quick to send out memes of the haywire announcement. One shared an image of the explosion of the Tesla CEO Starship last month with the caption, "Ron DeSantis learning what happens when you launch things with Elon Musk." Brutal. I'm pretty sure I saw that too. Once the event was finally off the ground, DeSantis did confirm to Elon Musk that he has entered the Republican presidential primary race just hours after filing the appropriate paperwork needed to launch a bid for the White House. Once the event was finally off the ground, DeSantis did confirm to the Tesla and Twitter CEO that he has entered the Republican presidential primary race just hours after wait, what the fuck? They literally posted the exact same fucking thing twice! Jesus Christ, Daily Mail, you're glitchier than a fucking Twitter live space. Okay, so look, I know sometimes my dyslexia acts up. This is genuinely the Daily Wire acting up here. Ron DeSantis on botched Twitter space, quote, "It broke the internet. Cope harder, bud." Is it gonna play?
Lucerna is scientifically designed for...
Hey, after a fucking ad. Yeah, all these websites updated their stuff, so now none of my ad blockers actually work.
This is Governor Ron DeSantis. I'm running for President of the United States to lead our great American comeback. We announced that on Twitter Spaces earlier tonight,
I've been here for
the
years.
internet because so many people were excited about being on that Twitter space. Now let's see if we can break Win Red. Please go to rondesantis.com, donate to the cause, and I think it'll be a night to remember. Thank you, and God bless.
Again, that was a lot. What's funny is he had so much more promotion in that one. Quote, "Thank you for putting up with these technical issues. We are definitely breaking new ground here," Sachs said when the event was up and running. Dude, Twitch could have handled this way better than you. What the fuck happened? This is all just copes. Anyway, as far as I know, no major presidential candidate has ever announced their candidacy on social media in this way. Yeah, and it's not a great way to get the ball rolling as an example. Throughout the talk, just because it's the first doesn't mean it's the best. Come on. Like, just because, look. What's a good example here? Jesus Christ. I'm trying to think of, like, a really, really good example here. Just because Vanilla Ice was the first example of a mainstream white rapper, it does not mean he was the best white rapper or is the best white rapper of all time. I mean, logic exists. Have fun with that. Anyway, a series of political figures and lawmakers were invited to come off mute and ask the new candidate questions. This included Rep. Thomas Massie, one of the 5 lawmakers who have already endorsed DeSantis. The conservative personality Dana Loesch. DeSantis specifically attacked the federal response to COVID-19 and how he paved the way for reopening earlier than other states. Not all other states. Not all of them, though. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, issuing a travel advisory to Florida and Disney for injecting gender ideology in elementary school. DeSantis also took a veiled swipe at Donald Trump by claiming he will put an end to the recent Republican culture of losing. That's really funny, dude, because almost everybody you endorse for president, or everyone you endorse in the midterms, fucking lost, dog. You were endorsing, well, you know, I think this person in this state would make a great governor. Lost. Meanwhile, Trump endorsed about 228 candidates. Of the 228 candidates, only about 18 lost. Buddy, shut up. Really, shut up. And I'm going to remember you saying culture of losing when you fucking lose. I'm going to remember you fucking said that. Quote, last week, the NAACP issued a travel advisory against your state, claiming Florida is not a safe place for minorities to visit. Moderator Sachs said to DeSantis, "What do you say to those who've been advised that somehow they aren't welcome in your state?" Claiming that Florida is unsafe is a total farce, the governor replied. I mean, are you kidding me? You look at cities around the country, in Florida, our crime rate is at a 50-year low. You look at the top 25 cities for crime in America, Florida does not have a single one among the top 25. Factually all true. Quote, and if you look at the cities like Baltimore and Chicago, you got kids more likely to get shot than receive a first-class education. Yet I don't see the NAACP batting an eye about the outrage and the carnage that is happening in those areas. Like I said, he said and is saying a lot of things I really like. It's just his delivery fucking sucks. He gives off big Jeb Bush energy, and which is really weird because he used to not give off this fucking weak energy. And now it's all he fucking emanates is pussy vibes. It's wild what happened. Like, in 3 weeks, he's going to be building a presidential creator clash and apologizing for old content. Oh my god. Anyway. These left-wing groups have been doing it for many, many years. And, at the end of the day, what they're doing is colluding with legacy media to try and manufacture a narrative. Now, the good news is fewer Americans are gullible enough to believe this dribble. Just 1 hour before the video was released, Donald Trump got one more swipe in at his main competitor, and almost asking for DeSantis to get the same sort of attacks from the left that the former president has received over the last several years. I bet they fucking will too. Quote, I'd like to personally congratulate Rob DeSanctimonious on finally announcing that he will be entering the race for president of the United States. He quipped in a post on his Truth Social platform, quote, hopefully he will get the full experience of being attacked by the Marxist, communist, and radical left lunatics of our country, without which he will never know the kind of job he is doing. Trump added, these lowlifes and misfits are far worse than the leaders of hostile foreign countries. They must be soundly defeated in order to make America great again. Regarding the disastrous start to the Twitter Space announcement, Democratic National Committee spokesperson Amar Mosa said in a statement, quote, in true Ron DeSantis fashion, his presidential launch was quite literally not ready for prime time. Welcome to the race for the MAGA base, Ron. Ain't that the fucking truth? Just 24 hours ahead of the chat, the candidate's wife, Casey DeSantis, posted to her Twitter a 30-second clip previewing the launch. DeSantis reposted the Florida First Lady's tweet. Or you had that backwards. It's First Lady of Florida's tweet, but alright. The video sparked some confusion, with some believing it was an official launch of the DeSantis presidential campaign, and others questioning why his team decided to use a narrator with a British accent. Please clap. Because before launching a bid, DeSantis had to rely on his allies in Florida, the Florida legislature, to pass a law that would allow him to run for the highest, I talked about this, it's called the Resign to Run Bill, office, while still continuing to serve out his second term as governor of the Sunshine State. Remember, he promised he wouldn't do this, and he had to get a law passed so he could. The so-called Resign to Run law was nixed last month by the Republican supermajority in the Florida legislature. DeSantis signed the bill into law, paving the way for him to launch a presidential bid without being required to step down as governor. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, Florida doesn't want him to run for president. They want him to stay governor. So Florida's looking like they can have their cake and eat it too. DeSantis for possibly 8 years, and then Trump for 4 years, or DeSantis for 2 more terms, so 2 years apiece, and then Trump, or then DeSantis for Trump for 4 years, DeSantis for 2 more terms potentially as governor, before Trump or before DeSantis for possibly 4 to 8 years as president. That's what Florida's thinking. Florida's thinking, if I vote Trump, I keep DeSantis and I get Trump. Win-win. But Trump still holds a commanding poll lead over DeSantis. and all other 2024 Republican challengers, and Democrats too. The former president holds an outright majority, leading the field of support from 53% of Republicans in the latest CNN SSR's poll released Wednesday, which puts his backing from voters at double that of DeSantis' 26% support. Damn. This is keeping in line with other recent surveys that show DeSantis far behind Trump. And by the way, these announcements did not help that. With a spread that has only grown with Trump facing a slew of legal challenges. That's right. With Trump in hot water, he's breaking all kinds of records for campaign funds and donations, and he's growing in support in the polls more and more as every new thing is thrown at him, just like what happened in 2016. At the age of 44, DeSantis is one of the main reasons why everything in 2020 worked so hard against Trump is we all were experiencing the pandemic, and we were all able to blame him for it. Now he's being having accusations that no one really cares about, no one can relate to. Everyone's like, okay, whatever you say, man, I guess. Fucking weirdo. But moving on. Oval Office, anyway, DeSantis is one of the younger candidates to launch a bid for the Oval Office, and is more than 3 decades younger than his main rival. As the great Ronald Reagan once said, I will not use my opponent's youth and inexperience against them. Some supporters of DeSantis, and by the way, Trump will say some shit like that, watch. Some supporters of DeSantis say it's time for new blood, and there's even calls for there to be an age limit put on who can run for president of the United States as the country braces for a showdown between 76-year-old Trump and 80-year-old President Joe Biden. Yeah, here's the thing. DeSantis bros, I've been saying that for years on this show. Go back to like the early episodes when politics was barely a part of the show and it was just me and my best friend getting high, playing fucking online video games, and talking about hip-hop culture. The shows have changed a lot over the years. Anyway, and now that Trump's just beating DeSantis' ass, now DeSantis bros are like, oh no, you need to stop that right now, fuck you wet fucking towels. I'm sitting here saying let them fucking fight, let them fight. For me, I've come around to the idea that it needs to be mental acuity, honestly, because I want Ron Paul to be vice president, and I got a great argument for Ron Paul to be vice president. Quote, anyway, Hasta says, there is another video where Musk is in every other frame and running around, very animated, almost as if he was DeSantis' running mate, but DM chose not to release it in this article. I also noticed you didn't leave a link to it either. Richard says, anyone see the meme Trump put out? It's Charles Hotley getting in the ring with Mike Tyson, and the best news for Trump is this is a ruse ruse to get his face on the telly nonstop on 2024. Never interfere with an enemy while they are making mistakes. DeSantis is playing a role. He will take the knockout. Oh my god, he will take the knockout, and at the end game, and at the same time, fleece all the rhinos of their cash. That's pretty optimistic, a little schizophrenically written. Rufus, the Naked Mole Rat, says, we need some angelic morph between Clinton and Obama to step up or we're all doomed. Rufus, who hurt you? We need some angelic morph between Clinton and Obama? That wouldn't be an angel, my man. That would be one of the Antichrists. He's called Satan. Ah, Dick, I forgive you for everything. They both went to Epstein Island many times and never banned him from their dinner house, which Trump did. True story. Alrighty, folks. Well, yeah, DeSantis' bid was a fucking mistake. That being said, this has been Inside Four Walls. I've been James Madison, and I shall catch you guys later.
I'm proud to be an American. And I won't forget the men who died.
We are kind of melting the servers.
And I'm proud to be an American.
legitimate to freedom and his willingness to put his money where his mouth is, upset the narrative control imposed on us by our government.
Who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up.
Have Governor DeSantis make this.
We're just trying to get it going.
And now, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, welcome back to Inside Four Walls. My name is James Madison, and just in time for election season, am I correct? Colorado's Dominion voting system says it's losing money and opportunities due to Fox News lawsuit. So, even though they won the lawsuit, things are looking bleak for Dominion voting system. Now, Dominion voting systems was the voting system that was used in all 50 states for the 2020 elections. It was also the center for every one of Donald Trump's lawsuits, claims, accusations, so on and so forth. And despite winning all these cases, Dominion voting machine seems to be on the verge of bankruptcy. This article here is from March 31st. Headline is, as I just read, Colorado's Dominion voting system says it's losing money and opportunities. Hop over here to a newer article that just came out on May 19th. Right here on May 19th. Dominion CEO says it's just a matter of time before they go out of business. Wild. And this is good too, because here's the thing. They refused to cooperate with lawsuits. They sued for defamation and won. Trump's lawsuits kind of went nowhere either. But at the same time, Dominion never really opened up their software. Dominion never was asked to turn over a copy of their hardware, anything. They didn't have to make the code public to a judge or anything. They just were allowed to just keep winning lawsuits, basically unchallenged. So, at the same time, I also am just a fan of handwritten ballots, which will play a role into another story later on. Anyway, let's get into this article, and then we'll hop over into the new one. Article is from the AP. In Arizona's most populous city, election officials are bracing for what could happen when it comes time to replace its $2 million a year contract for voting equipment. Officials in Maricopa County, which includes Phoenix, says they have no concerns about their current vendor, Dominion Voting Systems. The problem is that the company has been ensnared in a web of conspiracy theories since the 2020 presidential race that have undermined public confidence in the U.S. elections among conservative voters that led to calls to ban voting machines in some places and triggered death threats. Prove it, against election officials across the country. Prove it. Also, here's another little ditty about all that, right? So while you got all this going on, all right, with the, let's just use a little thought experience, right? Let's say Republicans are not the silent majority of the country. Then what is the concern? Should all these Democrat areas just be like, oh, fine, we can keep using the voting machines here. It really doesn't matter that much. Oh, well. So Republicans are just going to be angry. Maybe they'll win the next time, whatever. The fact that Dominion's going bankrupt because so many people are refusing to use them says a lot. And mind you, Dominion's provided voting machines for, well, places with notoriously rigged elections like Ukraine and Russia and China. But anyway, moving on. Officials in Maricopa County, already read that. Quote, I have concerns over my own security if we re-enlist Dominion, Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer, a Republican elected in 2020, said in a court filing, quote, it went from a company that nobody had heard about to a company that is maybe one of the most demonized brands in the United States or the world. The sudden turnabout in fortunes for the Colorado-based voting machine company is at the heart of the $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit it filed against Fox News, which, with the trial scheduled to begin in mid-April, Dominion claims Fox defamed it by repeatedly airing false claims about the company's voting machines and software. Court records testimony revealed that several Fox hosts and executives didn't believe the claims pushed by former President Donald Trump and his allies since the 2020 elections. Well, yeah, neither Fox News didn't really push them. That's the weird thing about it. Anyway, elections, but continued to air them, in part because they were worried about losing voters. Yeah, I disagree. You've had some people post, voice their opinions on Fox News, but Fox anchors and employees there, no, they didn't do anything with the election narrative. Find me the clips, I guess. Fox has argued the network was reporting on allegations that were newsworthy as Trump and his Republican allies contested the loss to Democrat Joe Biden. Yeah, again, show me the clips where Tucker Carlson or anyone outright said the election was stolen. Find me it. It doesn't exist. The network has said Dominion has been overstating its value. Could not have suffered damages in the amount it is claiming, and has played down security concerns about its machines. Fox lawyers also argued that documents produced in the case show Dominion is in a solid financial position. Ooh, bad words. You'll see how that changes very quickly in the next article. Quote, "The case has no merit, and the outrageous damage claim only highlights its naked attempt to suppress legitimate speech protected by our Constitution," Fox said in a statement. I don't usually say this, but I agree with Fox. Dominion has been presenting evidence that it says shows lost contracts and business opportunities over the past 2 years. It cites misinformation as for the reasons officials in some counties in Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee have terminated their contracts with it, while counties in Iowa, Kansas, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Jersey, and Ohio have opted against renewing. One expert in a report submitted by Dominion in November as part of its lawsuit estimated the company has experienced $16 million in loss of profits from customers that either terminated their contracts early or decided not to renew. The same estimate projected Dominion has already suffered $72.3 million in lost opportunities, which includes potential contract extensions, additional equipment sales, and service contracts with existing customers and new business. Overall, the experts estimate the company had experienced a $920 million decline in value, which includes the estimated taxes the company would have to pay if it were awarded damages. We now know in hindsight that yes, they were, and Fox will go on to fire Tucker Carlson and commit suicide. The expert also estimated additional future. By the way, this expert was hired by Dominion, in case you forgot that in this part of the story. In addition to future loss opportunities that have yet to be detailed publicly. Quote, "The evidence will show that Dominion was a valuable, rapidly growing business that was executing on its plans to expand prior to the time that Fox News spread and endorsed baseless lies about Dominion voting machines." Here's the thing, douche. I've had on politicians running for office on this show who have straight up said, yeah, these machines are rigged, and bare minimum they're hooked to the internet and should not be allowed to be used in elections. You're gonna sue me? That's their opinion. They said it, not me. The fuck? But of the same merits, I would be liable for what my guest said. So go fuck yourself. Anyway, about Dominion voting machines, Stephanie Wallstrom, a Dominion spokeswoman, said in a statement, the company's challenges haven't ended, as conspiracies about the last presidential elections have permitted much of the Republican Party. Trump allies continue to travel the country, meeting with community groups and holding forums to promote election conspiracies. Sorry, I had to drink some water. My throat was getting a little dry. The conspiracies have been cited by some county officials who said they were responding to constituent concerns as justification for refusing to certify election results, and have fed attempts to decertify or ban voting equipment. Yeah, and a lot of these places you're writing off did their own private investigations and found weird incongruencies with the election, and they decided to say, oh, we're decertifying, or oh, yeah, we're not doing this again. Yeah, this was a weird election. We're not comfortable with this, so on and so forth. So again, yeah, you can say it's, well, these counties have fed into conspiracy theories. Or through their own independent research, they have found things that make them not trust you. But whatever helps you sleep better at night, schnookums. People aren't having a seizure over here. People aren't acting rationally, said Laurent Norden, an election security expert with Brennan Center for Justice, which has advocated for more voter access and money for election officials. Fuck that. They are canceling contracts at great expense to their taxpayers. If they're not renewing the contract, how does that cost the taxpayer more if the taxpayer isn't paying to renew the contract? Sure, sounds logic, I imagine. Not included in the Dominion experts report are the more recent accusations, including Shasta County, California, where the Board of Supervisors terminated its contract with Dominion early. At a meeting in January, the board cited a loss of public confidence in the machines, which are used in the county to tabulate paper ballots marked by hand. Good. As more voters say we don't trust this, get rid of these machines. Perfectly fine. Voters say no, fine. Voters said no. In 2020, Trump won Shasta County with 65% of the vote. Dominion has to prove to me that we have a free and fair election, said Board of Supervisors Chair Patrick Henry Jones, who led the effort to end the contract, quote, just because we're sitting up here and elected doesn't mean we had a free and fair election every single time. Agreed! Absolutely agreed. And now that you won and you have it, it's time to do the investigation, and look what happened. They're like, yeah, we're getting rid of these machines. The board is now pursuing a plan to count ballots by hand. Actually, a few places just passed the law not too long ago. A process experts consider to be less accurate and more time-consuming. Well, here's the thing. If every single ballot in this country can have a serial number, every single ballot can have a fucking serial number. And we can track serial numbers. It's not really that hard. Anyway, in all, about the smallest jurisdictions, Trump ally Mike Lindell, the My Pillow CEO, has promised to support their efforts to get rid of the voting machines. And with Dominion voting on the cusp of bankruptcy. Fucking lol. In an interview, Lindell said he was prepared to help cover the cost of any lawsuit Shasta County might face. Quote, they are within the rights of going to the paper ballots in hand account, Lindell said. They have to be courageous, or we are not going to get rid of these machines. Kathy Darlene Allen, the elected Shasta County clerk and register of voters, has defended the voting equipment and blamed disproving conspiracy theories for undermining the county's election system and staff. She has warned the county was in danger of not being able to conduct elections. What do you mean you can't conduct elections? Ballots by hand are a way to conduct an election. It's weird you say that. Oh, if we can't have machines hooked into the internet that I can control from my laptop, we just can't have elections, can we? No, because we had elections before we had electronics, right, sweetheart? Quote, their actions have placed the security of our elections at risk and created dangerous precedent, encouraging outsiders to undermine our elections at a county level, Darlene Allen wrote in a testimony to Congress this month. Well, a lot of good it seemed to do you. She estimated that the hand counting all ballots in a presidential election with 50 contests on the ballot would cost at least $1.6 million and require hiring nearly 1,300 temporary employees. Oh, so it creates American jobs, you say. Nice. The county has more than 111,000 registered voters. Again, so create American jobs, you say. Election security experts were concerned that the market for voting machines already was limited before the 2020 election. Nice to hear. Dominated by 3 companies, one Dominion competitor, Election Systems and Software, has not reported contract cancellations, but has been forced to defend its reputation amid the voting machine conspiracies. Quote, In a recent hearing, Eric Murphy, an attorney for Fox News, told the Delaware Superior Court judge presiding over the defamation case that Dominion has, quote, a real speculation problem regarding its claims for damages, and that Dominion loss of profits argument appears to be based on presumptions that it would have won every contract it sought had it been for Fox covering of the election fraud allegations. Yeah, right? Fucking heads up their own ass, narcissists eating their breakfast they had yesterday. The ignorance that ignores the fact that Dominion rivals have sometimes offered lower bids or more attractive technology. Murphy said Fox has highlighted internal communications, including a chat, which one Dominion employee said, quote, God, our products suck. Ooh. As well as a federal advisory outlining potential vulnerabilities reported in Dominion systems. Their own employees say they suck. That's great to know. Arizona's Maricopa County has been at the forefront of the conspiracy theories about Dominion, and the GOP-controlled legislature in 2021 used its subpoena power to seize the county's voting equipment and hired a firm run by Trump supporters. Are they? What's your backup for that? It was a firm hired in a mostly Republican county to do the investigation. That's all you're running that off of, isn't it? Cute. Anyway, Trump supporters to comb through it and search for evidence of the machines were compromised. The firm found none. Damn, well, if it was a firm full of Trump supporters, you would think they would have manufactured something at least, right? Or no, maybe, unlike Dominion Voting Machine, it's an independent firm that's capable of doing its fucking job without bias or scrupulous activities. Or unscrupulous activities. Who would have known, though, right? Anyway, and Doug Logan, who oversaw the project, conceded in a private text message that surfaced in an unrelated lawsuit. Quote, the Dominion machine is actually quite precise. Nevertheless, distrust remains rampant. Dominion's executive vice president of sales, Weldeep Sai, said in a court filing that the situation in Arizona has made it impossible to do business there. He blamed conspiracy theories for scudding the company's chances of winning business in Yapavati County, a conservative rural county of North Phoenix. Quote, all I can tell you is, based on my experience our trajectory at the time in Arizona, we were trending in a very positive direction, Sai said. Now he said, I don't think we'll win anything in Arizona again. Fucking lol, sucks to be you, bitch. Suck it up. Moving on. Dominion says it's just a matter of time before they go out of business. And this is a new article, well, new-ish, from May 19th. Lol. From Martina Valchow. The CEO of voting software company Dominion Voting Systems shared a grim prediction about his business future. About his business's future. Even after last month's massive legal settlement with Fox News, Dominion settled its defamation case against the conservative cable network for $787.5 million on April 18th, just before trial. But CEO John Polis said Dominion suffered lasting damage from Fox News' lies about the 2020 presidential election, saying it's just a matter of time before the company loses all of its clients. And that's a fucking quote, my man. Quote, it's just easier for our customers to use something that's not Dominion. Polos told Time magazine, quote, "We just know our business ultimately goes to zero. Former President Donald Trump and his allies peddled and spread. We've already gone through this. Dominion rigged its voting machines to make Trump lose the 2020 election. Joe Biden won by 4% votes." Yeah, I still have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea that Joe Biden won almost twice as many votes on re-election. I still struggle to wrap my head around the idea that Joe Biden won twice as many votes election night than Barack Obama got for his re-election night. It doesn't seem to work for me, man. I gotta be honest with you, especially with how many Obama voters went for Trump in 2016 versus 2020. You know, there's a lot of little weird things, but sure. In its lawsuit against Trump, Dominion said airtime the network gave to false claims led to threats and harassment against staff and a lost profit. Fox should have taken this to court and fought, but Fox was scared to because Fox was a bunch of fucking pussies. But no, they had people on who had opinions, and the people with opinions said shit. And Dominion was like, Fox is promoting ideologies. It's like, no, it's not. Shut up. Anyway, quote, "We acknowledge the court's rulings. We acknowledge the court's rulings finding certain claims about Dominion to be false," Fox said in a statement. After the settlement, Fox did not apologize or concede wrongdoing, and didn't tell viewers about the falsehoods in its programs aired because, just as Trump's claims haven't been proven, Dominion hasn't officially been fucking proven innocent either. Like, it goes both fucking ways. I mean, come on, man. And why should they? They hosted people who had opinions and different in views than you. Oh, fucking well. Cry out me a fucking river. Anyway. Court filing, wrongdoing. Polos, who has defended Dominion's decision to accept the settlement, said the lies have put the company into a death spiral by accusing us of the greatest American crime in history. It turned us, as one of our customers has described, as one of the most demonized brands in the United States. Polo said the Dominion voting system is pursuing 6 other lawsuits over 2020 election lies. V. Buckeye says Republicans said don't early vote and don't count any votes until the polls close. So how do you count early and absentee ballots and not expect the votes to change? And if that were never explained, why did Fox settle? And because Fox is a pussy who was scared to have a court rule against them without hearing them out, or not having a strong enough case to even defend themselves. It's really not that hard to wrap your mind around. Why did Fox settle and all of Trump's lawyers say publicly it was all a show, no one really believed it? Again, show me where they said that. Show me where they said that. I like how you don't have a single attorney to attribute that quote to. And not a single Republican judge found a single shred of evidence. I hate Yahoo's website. It keeps refreshing and going to the front page. I fucking hate it. Fix your fucking garbage-ass website, Yahoo. Anyway. I still find that Yahoo is owned by Huffington Post, of all fucking people. Anyway. Let's see. Let me expand this message. We can finish interacting with it. And not a single Republican judge found a single shred of evidence. Now watching the same party change their tune as they lost the Senate. They didn't lose the Senate. They won the Senate. The fuck? Lost the Senate, lost GA, and had no red wave. What are you fucking talking about, you absolute buffoon? They won the Senate. Republicans took the House of Representatives. Literally the Senate. You absolute fucking tard. And not to mention, even in the areas of the 2020 election where the Democrats did win, there are many Democrat politicians who are fucking MIA, and some of them have only just now returned to work. So it's not exactly like the Democrats are a fucking tour de force here. So, again, points made, but both sides have failed. The right has failed to prove election fraud. They've shown that there were irregularities, and that's why I use the term fortifying. So does the New York Times. You go read the article. And on the other side of that, the left hasn't disproven any of these fucking claims. Both sides have been hurling accusations at each other, with neither side really making fucking headway over one or the other. Both sides still believe what they believe, and both sides have their evidence to point to. The right has a laundry list of evidence to point to say why the election was stolen. The left has a laundry list of evidence to point to why the election wasn't stolen. Meanwhile, if you look back at what happened after the 2020 or the 2016 elections, the left had a collection of evidence to point to as to why the election was stolen, and the right had a collection of evidence to point to as to why the election was safe and secure. Really, I just find it fucking amusing because in 2016, the right gave the left their investigation. We got 2.5 to 3 years worth of a false Russia hoax investigation that led to a bullshit impeachment that didn't lead to a single president being impeached, and cost about $400+ million of taxpayer funds, and effectively stalled a first term for a president. But come 2020, the left doesn't give the right an investigation. It's interesting the level of confidence where the right was like, yeah, sure, have your fucking investigation. And then when it came time for the left to do the same thing for the right, the left said, go fuck yourself. I'm just making observations here. And yeah, cry me a fucking river. I lost our House of Representatives. How? How the fuck did we? How the fuck did we? And that's rich because Feinstein, Quasimodo, or as you know him, Fetterman, constantly MIA, months at a time. Come on, mate. Now, actually, the same party changed their tune as they lost the Senate, lost GA, and had no red wave. You're right, it was a red splash. The only reason they even have a majority in the House is because of gerrymandering. Aw, you mean they won more seats than you, bitch? It's funny because when you lose, you have all the names to call. But when you win, anyone calling you a name is some sort of phobe or ist. I think, Buckeye, you should go pet some grass. And down here at Thomas, some states allow counting of early votes, but the count is not known publicly. There should be no early counting to votes. It should be done once the polls close. Then counting should begin. Voting, letting people vote days in advance or voting the day after polls close is fucked up. The Constitution prescribes a voting day, not a voting week, a voting month, none of that shit. But through absentee ballots and absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, we had a voting month in 2020. See, this is what I mean by fortifying. You had to use your terminologies and have the facts lined up for you. Anyway, publicly known, only some people in the counting know the count. That does not stop them from telling others. In 2020, election increase of voting of 26 million votes was greatly increased from the 2016 election. This was 4 times or more increase than any election in the last 20 elections. Alright. Well, it's just a fun little story, isn't it? Either way, regardless of how you feel about it, Dominion Voting Machines looks like it's likely going to be going bankrupt and shutting down. Well, fucking lol. That being said, I've been yours, James Madison, and I shall catch you guys later.
This is not, you guys see this? It's tuck friendly. You see? Extra tuck. Awesome. Yeah, I saw it on TikTok. So. We're at Target, checking out their tuck friendly Pride collection. That's right, guys. Extra crotch coverage, tuck friendly construction. Thank you, Target.
No, it is.
I think this is a tucking one.
Yeah, it is. Look.
Tuck friendly construction. Okay, well, let's see how tuck friendly it is.
Hey, well, you can.
Wow, it's so tuck friendly. It's nice to. Let's come in. I love the tuck friendly bathing suit. They hide all of it. Look, I got. This is nice. You guys see this? It's tuck friendly. You see? Extra tuck. It's awesome. Yeah, I saw it on TikTok. So this extra strap right here. It just looks so good. Look, you can't even see it, guys. It's like, this is the best tuck friendly construction I've ever seen. You see this? This is, Target is so progressive. I love it. Thank you, Target. I just feel like I could run. Yeah, I could exercise in this. This is what I'm talking about. You can train in this thing. I'm all tucked in. We're getting it. Can't wait to wear this around the pool.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Four Walls. I am, as always, your host, James Madison. And the Republicans have gotten into the boycott game. Well, the right in general has now. I find a lot of amusement with this. Much like with ballot harvesting and whatnot, I've been saying play their game so good they condemn it. Do it. And they're finally fucking doing it. They're out there building ballot harvesting machines. Donald Trump's bragging about putting together one of the largest ballot harvesting organizations in history. He's already bragging about this fucking shit. So, good. Finally on the ball. And with stuff like this, it's about time the right finally agreed to quit giving money to companies that hate it. That's a nice narrative, isn't it? It is a season of boycott, but it's not because the right's doing it. It's because they went too far. They took in, and they were told they would only be offered an inch. Instead, they were given about 10 inches, and they took about 187 miles. Now, with the beer, that was one thing. You know, you can, what's the difference here, right? You have other woke, kind of DEI type promotions that were twofold. One, they were kind of political, kind of in a realm where a lot of people didn't care as much. But then you go into the beer, right? It becomes a viral meme, goes fucking everywhere. But there's a connotation of that. Straight people don't want to be considered gay. Dudes hanging out with their friends don't want to be the butt of gay jokes. Pun intended. So they're not drinking beer. Then you have retailers who are like the larger, right? So let's think about it like this, right? Excuse me. Where do people drink? People will buy Bud Light, who's still buying Bud Light, and drink it at home. I know people who drink Bud Light at home, but they won't drink it in public. They'll only drink that shit at home in private. I know people still buying Bud Light, and I make fun of them at home for it. I know, I'm a disrespectful shit, but they're smoking my stuff. So, but in public, at bars and stuff, people don't want to drink it. So bars, being, you know, the people who buy the bulk, like a bunch of bars, as a whole, as an industry, make up the bulk of Bud Light sales, makes up the bulk of all beer sales in America. So bars, venues, concerts, promotional type events, all of a sudden are like, no one wants Bud Light. We're not pushing Bud Light. No one wants it, so quit buying it. And that's how it goes. Now this one is set to get even more fucking vicious. You wanna know why? Because unlike the Bud Light thing, where it was just the memes and the social stigma of drinking a fucking Bud Light, this actually is targeting children. You, the Democrats, and the culture war have been working really hard to turn the soccer moms into a voting base. The vaccines, the school choice, the books in school, and now this with Target. Now, in all honesty, I've been boycotting Target for years. Target is hostile towards the Second Amendment. They're large DNC donors, so on and so forth. Like, there's a ton of things about Target which make them hostile towards conservative views and right-leaning views. Now, I'm not a conservative or a Republican, but I am very much right-winged. I make no qualms about that. However, with this... Oh, and another thing with the Bud Light thing I want to make sure I mention. Another facet that made the right not want to drink Bud Light on top of the whole, like, being called gay, it's the can said, celebrating, here's the 365 days of being a girl. Or girlhood is what it said. That is... Trans topics are a culture war issue. As much as they seem like a political topic, it's very much a culture war issue. And to say girlhood or anything that's confirming towards the delusion Dylan Mulvaney pretends to live in, where Dylan Mulvaney pretends to think Dylan Mulvaney is a woman, is taking a stance. You are saying biology be damned, facts of the matter be damned. Christians, conservatives happen to be very Christian. You're saying I don't give a fuck about what God said, and it sends a bit of a fucking message. Same thing with this, but this is targeting kids. Tuck swimsuits. You know what this is? These are swimsuits that have a little pouch. Sheath underwear. Think about that. It's like that. So little boys can hide their shit when they go to the beach to not look male. All about playing into a fucking delusion that is leading to more and more suicides every year. And now, James, why do you think? Don't you think that the sudden spike in suicides over the last 3 to 5 years with trans people? Don't you perhaps think for maybe a second that has to do with people like you voicing these opinions? No, absolutely not. I know people went to high school, went down this rabbit hole, and they went into an afterlife. I mean, look, a lot of people when they go down the trans route, right, things get too hot and heavy for them, they can't take the pressure. Wait till they see their afterlife. Kidding. Now, the issue is, over the last, you know what, I'll say more like 5 to 7 years. Yeah. Anyway, parents in more and more droves at a time started putting their kids onto birth control, hormones, puberty blockers, HRT, already getting their kids early stages of different surgeries. More and more parents started to do what was called affirming care to their kids when their kids weren't even when their kids were 15, 14, 16, stuff like that. So now you get a couple years ahead of that. They've been through facial surgeries, laser hair removals, hormone blockers, estrogen or testosterone injections, so on and so forth. And now they're looking, they're coming up in their mid to early to mid 20s, and they're starting to think oh, I'm actually attracted to this gender, or I don't feel like this thing I'm walking around as, so on and so forth. And then, there's a large push to go and detransition. And then on the other side of that are people who are I'm too far gone, I can't do anything about it, I'm gonna go buy me 10 feet of rope, and it goes from there, Robin Williams type behavior. I would say it's more the fact that child mutilations and child abusers are being given free roam the same way we gave parents free roam in the 1930s through late 40s with lobotomies. Oh, your kid's a little too antsy in class? Well, bring him in, have him sit down in my lobotomobile, and I'm going to take my fucking ice spike and hammer and just... Well, he'll behave now, because vegetables don't misbehave, you know what I mean? They just kind of sit there or rot. JFK had a little sister. She was lobotomized. It's one of the reasons why JFK would go on to condemn lobotomies so fucking hard. He never mentioned his sister was the reason why. They tried to keep that as hush as fucking possible. She died in the early 90s too. It's worth looking into on your own time. I mean, it's not a whole lot to the story. Had a sister. She was kind of a wild child. They drove an ice bike through one eye socket. It didn't work right, so they did through the other eye socket. Completely fried her fucking brain out. And she died a incontinent, incomprehensible, babbling vegetable. About 60-ish years after the lobotomies took place. And that's exactly what all this trans shit is. And for Target to sit back and play into that, I mean, just look, you don't know how bad it is? Look into John Money. Dr. John Money. The homework for your time. Look into that. This is, and Target has always taken a stance from them. The CEO of Target says they're going to continue to have these stances. They're just going to find a way to market it without it pissing off people. So Target's not surrendering. When I say surrendering, I don't mean they should well, fuck you, whatever. What I mean is they should read the fucking room. They should have some idea what's going on. But Target is ultimately a store. Everything is profit-driven. And I know I've been ranting for a minute, but it's worth keeping in mind. We're seeing videos right now of influencers running into these stores and smashing up displays. And getting millions of views in hours. So once content creators start realizing, like clout chasers start realizing, being anti-woke will be what starts driving you clout. As I've been saying since like 2020, the pendulum is swinging back towards 2016, towards uncensored internet. It's before Title IX type deal. It is going back that way. And when clout chasers realize that being anti-woke drives the views, it will get crazy. And it's going to be self-destructive too, because you have a lot of influencers who are doing the woke thing, who are seeing the views go down for that. They're going to switch over. I've been saying this for a long time. Gen Z, the younger Gen Z is more conservative. There's a little chunk in the middle around the older Gen Z and middle-aged Gen Z that's left. The youngest crowd in Gen Z, like the ones that are just like 15 and under, those motherfuckers, well, like 10 to 17 in Gen Z, those motherfuckers are as conservative or more conservative than generations before them. I think it's the first time a generation's gone more right in about 3 generations since World War II. It's gone progressively more left with the window shifting. Big fucking win, basically. Target loses $9 billion in week following boycott calls over LGBTQ-friendly kids' clothes. Delusional clothing. Again, the language is so weird. Okay, LGBT friendly plays into the idea that you're not supposed to have a penis, right? Tucks it away for you. Alright, let's expand this a little bit. I feel like I'm not supposed to have this perfectly functional left arm. I'm left-handed, but I feel like I shouldn't be, left-armed. So I want my arm taken off, removed, and in exchange, but I can't afford for the surgery, or a hospital won't do the surgery for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this shirt. What the shirt does is it contorts your arm and puts you in like a fucking full Nelson behind your back, but it makes it look like you don't have an arm. You would look at that clothes design, however that shirt would be designed, and think, oh, that's fucking wild. Or even if you're like, that wouldn't do, well, okay, think of it as a shirt design that's made to make it look like you don't have a left arm. Anyway, you would look at that shirt and think, who would buy that? Why is that here? That's weird. That's fucking weird. Why is it targeting kids? And you look at the packaging to make sure, like, oh, maybe it's, meant for people who just don't have an arm. And you read it, arm hiding pouch design. And then your confusion only deepens, right? Let's get into it.
Look, I think this is why the Bud Light example is so important. And thank you guys for having good to see you again. Because what Bud Light represents is the first time that I can remember, really, in sort of the modern era, where a company has to think, hey, let's be careful. Let's not go too far left wing. Let's not go too far woke, because it could destabilize, debilitate, destroy the overall brand of our company. And I guarantee you right now, they're having conversations about, let's not get Bud Lighted in all of these different boardrooms as it pertains to marketing decisions. And I think Target has lost that lesson.
Whoa. That was kind of a sudden transition. By Ariel Zilber. Target has lost $9 billion in market value since angry social media users called for a boycott of the Minneapolis-based retailer over its rollout of Pride collection featuring LGBTQ-friendly clothing for children. I'm just going to ask a question. Isn't it a little interesting that in the last 3.5 years we've seen a major spike in people returning to church and going to church and finding faith, and Pride falling out of favor with the masses? Is it just me? That's kind of weird, right? But again, that's also a fun little just narrative to have in the back of your mind. It's very much also like, I mean, dude, the dildo rainbow butt monkey. Have you seen this? First off, that's monkey. That's a good monkey, actually. That's a good monkey you can trust around kids. Monkey Jones Inside Four Walls stands with Monkey Jones. We vouch for his character as long as you're not dating him. Anyway, this guy, the Rainbow Dildo Butt Monkey. The Rainbow Dildo Butt Monkey. Still performs at kids' events as far as I know. Last time I knew they performed was about a year ago. And what this guy specifically does is Drag Queen Story Hour. Goes into libraries, schools, and reads, and has fun with it. Now, this is in London, sure, but this story got passed all over Facebook. Parents were talking about it. Then, you also have this story out of Dearborn. Now, I'll be fair, this is just one example of stories all over. You have Loudoun County, you have places all over. Oh, I'm not subscribing to your garbage. Detroit Free Press, I'm just using it as a fucking example. Purchase shut down Dearborn School Board meeting over LGBTQ books. This has been a slow boil. But then, moms go into Target, and they start seeing things saying, hide your dick. And after the Dylan Mulvaney thing, parents are a little bit more on edge. I've had conversations in my life. I've referenced before. I have a very large family. Lutherans, Catholics, and Jews. They fuck. They all fuck. Lutheran, personally, is the side I came out on. However, as you can tell, I'm still on the base side of the Protestant faith. I'm not these sellout fucking Skittle flag having churches. No thanks. Actually, a little ditty about me real quick. I would quit going to a family. There was a family church. Been going to it for generations. About 3 to 4 generations. I've been going to this one church. And one day they took down the American flag, and they put up a trans flag. And then we quit going right after that. I was a little bit on the younger side. Went with the family mostly. It wasn't, I'm fucking early 20s, late teens. I'm not exactly, pursuing that hard of a business with God. I get it. I follow it. Well, I could have the arguments. More interested in partying it up a little bit and just doing church on the weekends if I have to. And before you roll your eyes, come on, 18 to 22. Leave me alone. We've all been there. But we could go in after they put up the pride flag, and now when we drive by that church, it is like all the facts of the rainbow. They just fucking fly, bro. And I find it very obnoxious. It feels kind of like a betrayal because, fine. Well, God doesn't hate these people. I'm not saying he does, but, the amount of body mutilation and, body chemistry being fucked with is man fucking with God's perfection. So I would argue that you are still manipulating and playing God in a realm that doesn't belong to you to play in. So no one is saying, at least I'm not. I'm not dumb enough to sit here and think God hates gay people or trans people or none of that shit. That Jesus died for pretty much all the sins. I mean, there's certain exclusions, I believe, which is a little bit more of my Catholic side showing. I understand that. I don't know. Hurt kids? Wood chipper and hell feed first. Kind of an instant conclusion. Hitler? I don't know. I heard he asked for forgiveness. I guess I'll see how that one worked. That's an interesting speculation. I lean towards he didn't get in. I know the jokes are funny, but I lean towards he didn't get in because, the whole lot of people were killed. Lots of people. Christians, blacks, whites, Jews. We tend to focus on one fucking group here, but that 6 million count, yeah, there's a lot of people that, just weren't Jewish in that body count. Again, a lot of Christians, a lot of political defectors. It's like when people say, the only people in Chinese concentration camps are Muslims. It's factually not true. There's journalists, political defectors, whites, blacks, gypsies, Jews, Muslims, political dissidents, failed political leaders. The list who actually are in these camps is a fucking abundant. Way off fucking kilter here. But all that to get down to the point of everyone gets forgiveness, right? At least according to the scripture. Personal opinions on it and all that aside, I guess we'll all find out together later on, but there's very distinctive written issues when it comes to man playing God and fucking. For example, there's literally a verse in the Bible that says, don't cover up the face the Lord created. There's numerous other references to, fucking with the temple, which refers to the body, but I don't need to go down that fucking rabbit hole, do I? A week ago, Jordan Peterson's got actually an old series that's super good on these topics. A week ago, Wednesday, before the controversy erupted, Target stock closed at $160.96 a share, giving the big box chain a market capitalization of $74.3 billion. As of early trading on Wednesday, however, the shares of the company were trading off 1% at $141.76, capping a week-long tumble that has shrunk the cheap chick department. I think you mean chic. I don't think that's how chic spelled though. Discount retailers' value to $65.3 billion. They're considered a discount retailer? Target's kind of expensive, man. Especially when you compare it to like Walmart and other stores like of its type. Target's not that cheap. Interesting. That amounts to a 12% drop that has shaved a whopping $9 billion off the company's market capitalization. Target said on Tuesday it was removing some of its items, from its stores and making other changes to its LGBTQ+ merchandise nationwide ahead of Pride Month after intense backlash from some customers who confronted workers and tipped over displays about this. Look, boycott, quit going, quit shopping. I'm not gonna act like, again, when you do that and you go and you smash the shit, it's funny. It is a great video. I do laugh and haha. But it does also hurt your brand. Same thing just like with any political movement, rioting hurts your cause. It hurts your image, makes people not want to engage with you. Taints the brand. Smashing a property, it hurts the overall argument. Again, like I'm saying, it's like the videos aren't funny. They're funny as hell, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, gotta have the I gotta sit here and can't be like, haha, I like it when it's happening to people I don't like. No, I don't like it happening, period. I don't like the people, I don't like the shit they're posting. But at the same time, there's always gonna be our employees are receiving threats that prove it. But if that is happening, it's not okay. Target said on Tuesday it was removing some of its items, but that's the real kicker here, because just like with the Dylan Mulvaney thing, right? The thing that drove home the part of the destruction of the whole Bud Light thing was they started condemning their connections to Dylan Mulvaney, which led the gay community to like, well, you're not supporting us, so we're out. And then they lost both sides of the argument. Target is setting themselves up to do that, and they've already lost $9 billion in barely a fucking week. Quote, since introducing this year's collections, we've experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work, Target said in a statement on Tuesday. Yeah, well, being told you have to work, a Halloween is abuse of these people. When I worked in the restaurant, there was this woman. It was like Christmas morning. I got out at like 5. She got out at 3 that day, right? I still got out in time to go have gifts and dinner with my family. Amazing. But it's like 8 a.m. and she's sitting there crying about how she's gonna miss breakfast with her grandma. And I was like, oh, you're gonna get to see your grandma later on today? She goes, well, yeah, she'll be there all day, but I'm not gonna have breakfast with her. And she's sitting there not working. Her customers are sitting there at their tables waiting for their food, and she's out back sobbing. Little wax pen, fucking cigarette in the other hand, just tears running down her fucked up fucking ethot looking face. I have no faith in this bitch, personally. It's like, come on, man. That's the overwhelming amount of my generation sitting here when it comes to, like, people in my direct bracket. 25, like, the 19 to 25 range. Just sucks. Just fucking sucks. However, they consider that workplace abuse and harassment and violence. So it's like, I need to know what these... Give me an example of what kind of threats and harassment they're receiving. Quote, given these volatile circumstances, we are making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior. Target said that customers knocked down pride displays at some stores, angrily approached workers, and posted threatening videos on social media from inside the stores. I need to see these videos. I want to see specific examples. These news articles can put examples. They can put videos in their articles. Why don't they? It's so fun. Yet, when there is like an actual threat or something, they always manage to put the video in. I'm sure you can find one video if you went looking hard enough. That was just days after Target CEO Brian Cornell had defended the LGBTQ-friendly merchandise, saying it, quote, it was the right thing for society. Yeah, societal collapse and decay, and telling men they become women if they mutilate their bodies and make them incapable of mating, and telling women they can be men as long as they mutilate their bodies and become incapable of mating. Yeah, it's great for society. Absolutely drive down the birth rates and everything in this country. Make everybody same-sex banging, non-reproducing, soy jack, pod bug eating dweller. Absolutely. Amen. God bless America. Sounds like one of the worst fucking things you could put out there for society, personally speaking. Target declined to specify Wednesday which items it was removing, but among the ones that garnered the most attention were, quote, tuck-friendly men's swimsuits that allow men who have not had their penises chopped off, gender-affirming operations, to conceal their private parts. Now, how is this actually written? According to the right-leaning New York Post, quote, among the ones that garnered the most attention were tuck-friendly women's swimsuits that allow trans women that have not had their gender-affirming operations to conceal their private parts. I'm going to read it once again in a factual format. Among the ones that garnered the most attention were the tuck-friendly men's swimsuits that allowed men who have not had their bottoms mutilated, have not had their penises chopped off, to tuck away and conceal their private parts. That's the non-delusion affirming way to say that. Designed by Abra Perelin? Ab Perelin, who's also made a ton of shit for kids, and we might look at some of that in here in a minute, like kids' baby clothes with a demon, like Satan drawn on them. Sold at Target, folks. Designs by Perelin, a London-based company that designs and sells occult and satanic-themed LGBTQ clothing and accessories, have also created a backlash. See what I mean? You're gonna give me shit early for the little crazy Christian rant, but fucking dude, they themselves partake in it. Not only do they push the gender mutilation delusional bullshit onto your kids, they also push Satan onto your fucking kids. Also, I love how Satanists are like, we don't worship anything. Oh, okay, so why is your thing named Satan? Oh, well, because we follow a core tenet that we believe is written in the Satanic Bible. And it's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? Your whole religion is named after a person. Just because I named my group Judah's Apostles, right? Fun fact, I always had a band called Justified Judas. It didn't work out mainly because a dude sliced his right hand open when we were playing guitar, and his high E was tuned way too high and the cord snapped, and it lacerated the back of his hand pretty deeply, so he had deep gashes, and he was just kind of nervous about playing guitar again. It sucked, dude, because he was a very talented guitarist. Anyway, man, if only that kicked off. I bet I'd be uploading music right now to this channel. Anyway, the Pride merchandise has been on sale since early May. Pride Month is held in June. Target, and here's something I talked about. Do you know how this is going to affect? I wonder how the Dylan Mulvaney thing is going to affect Pride Month. Because with what happened to Bud Light, other companies are going to be a little bit nervous. And right now, with tons of companies facing the backlash. North Face has seen money loss. Bud Light, Miller is already starting to see it too. Like, tons of companies are seeing the backlash happening to it. So what is this going to do for Pride Month? I'm so curious. And the last couple of Pride Months have been less and less eventful. Target confirmed that it has removed its Pride merchandise from the front of the stores to the back in some southern stores after confrontations and backlash from shoppers in those areas. Tuck-friendly construction, extra crotch coverage. Isn't it sad? This is a male. This is a male model. Tragic. Conservative commentator Tommy Loren said on Tuesday that Target is about to see its Bud Light's see its business suffer in the same way Bud Light did. Quote, "I think that Target really soon is about to find out what happens when conservatives shop, or rather don't shop, because they are about to get Bud Lighted." Lauren told Fox News host Sean Hannity on Tuesday Bud Light has seen its sales drop for some 6 consecutive weeks. But I thought the boycott was ending. Down 25% versus a year ago at the most recent week. Since the boycott calls erupted in response to its controversial marketing campaign with transgendered social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Let's hop down here. There's no article, no comments. There are no comments on this article. Now we're going to hop over here, right, to a very interesting article. Gavin Newsom claims Target is selling out to LGBTQ plus community extremists by removing children's Pride merch from stores. Quote, "Wake up, America. This doesn't stop here. You're black, you're Asian, you're Jewish, you're a woman, you're next." Kind of wild. So conservatives are going to walk into... So let's follow this logic here. Conservatives are going to walk into Target, see a shirt that says there's only... Right, if you're a woman, you're next, right? So if there's a shirt at Target that says there's only 2 genders, male and female, is the right going to... I'm just like, question, is the right going to blow a gasket because it says woman on there and they can't have women represented in stores? Why? What's that last one? And again, I don't... Is the average Republican, make Israel great again party? I mean, Democrats are equally guilty of this, but, I mean, fuck, dude. Ronald Reagan, big make Israel great again type. You go into a store, and it's around, like, Hanukkah. I've never once seen or heard any conservative outrage over little Hanukkah displays in stores. If anything, they look at it and go, okay, whatever, and move on. If anything, maybe I'll buy some of the dirt cheap chocolate shekels, because that's actually kind of good chocolate. In black? I don't know, man. This is Black History Month every year, and the conservative / right kind of just collectively roll their eyes and move on. So, I don't know. You're Asian? That's weird, because when you go to Asian supermarket... Hell, look, you go to an Asian market, man. You can't even get a black Little Mermaid. Then we show her on the fucking poster, bro. So I don't know. I think Stop Asian Hate should have been about telling Asians stop hating other people. So I don't know. All these seem pretty bad points. By Libby Evans. Retailer Target faced massive backlash after launching its Extreme Pride merch for kids. So much so that the store execs decided to remove some of it from stores. Even as annual Pride Month of June is only days away, the California Governor Gavin Newsom, this is a complete and total travesty. What's really funny about Gavin Newsom is I want to see him run for president against Ron DeSantis, because they are like polar opposites in every conceivable way. CEO of Target, Brian Cornell, is selling out to LGBTQ plus community, to extremists in a real profile of let me reread this, because I just had a stroke. LGBTQ plus community to extremist is a real profile in courage. Okay, so I did read that right. It's just a confusing statement. Newsom wrote on Twitter about the exec's decision to listen to customers and pull the queer t-shirt for kids. Good. Why the fuck do kids need to be walking around wearing shit that says queer and gay pride? They're kids. Why are you going so hard after kids? You don't want to be called groomers, but you're grooming. It's confusing.
We have an expert here
to
help us unpack this. Libby Emmons from the wonderful website The Post Millennial joins us right now. Libby, welcome back to the program.
Thanks so much, Charlie.
So, Libby, walk us through this story and tell our audience the significance of them changing their guidelines.
So WPATH, World Professional Association for Transgender Health, is coming up with, they have some new guidelines. They are set to release them pretty soon. They're having a big conference a weekend after this one. CARE, Standards of Care for double mistake.
I clicked through this. They don't really talk about Target. If you want to watch this video, it will be in the article linked in the description below. Quote, "This isn't just a couple of stores in the South," he said, with the obvious presumptions that people in the southern region of the U.S. are backwards and bigoted. Quote, "This is a systematic attack on gay community happening across the country," he said of parents' anger against a massive and trusted retailer seeking to push social gender transitions on children. Quote, "Wake up, America. This doesn't stop here. You're black, you're Asian, you're Jewish, you're a woman. You're next," he said. What a wild fucking statement. Anyway, Newsom shared an article from The Hill, which is a rag, which is now no longer online. However, the article reported that Target had removed Pride merch for kids from stores after backlash from customers and alleged threats against store workers. Yeah, alleged, because they never prove them, right? They never do. A statement from Target claimed that the company, quote, "experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work," quote, for more than a decade. The statement said, quote, "Target has offered an assortment of products aimed at celebrating Pride Month, just not towards kids." That's sort of the thing. And the tuck, that's a new thing. You haven't been doing that for decades. Imagine if they released something like that towards kids in let's see, 10 years ago. So that would have been, wow, actually 10 years ago, it'd be 2013. So yeah, no, that would have been a Shoe on Head video and an H Bomber Guy video mocking that. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Imagine the Mark Dice content back then. Yeah, I don't think you've been doing that for 10 years. I don't think it will fly. But, okay, bud. And I know he doesn't say that they've been selling that for 10 years, but he's using this statement as a justification for the other, for the product. Assortment of items, products aimed at celebrating Pride Month. Since the introduction this year's collection, we've experienced threats impacting our teammates' safety and well-being. Never fucking prove it, do they? They never justify it with an example. Quote, "Given these volatile circumstances," we read that in our earlier argument. Quote, oh, actually, this is a longer one. "We are making adjustments to our plans, introducing and removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior. Our focus is now on moving forward with our continuing commitment to the LGBTQIA+ community and standing with them as we celebrate Pride Month throughout the year." Quote, "They say grooming isn't happening," TPUSA contributor Morgan McMunkle asked. "Then why are there Pride baby onesies?" Yeah, fair fucking question. It's trending again, boycott Target. I've seen this video now being posted everywhere.
Here at Target because I heard that their new Pride collection was out. So let's take a look. This is a special swimsuit. It is invented for tucking. Lesbian. Are they amoebas? Look, here at Target because I heard that their new Pride collection was out. So let's take a look. This is a special swimsuit. It is invented for tucking. Lesbian. Are they amoebas? These don't even look like people. Queer. This right here. These are baby clothes. They say that grooming isn't happening, then why are there pride baby onesies? Trans people will always exist. This is the ugliest shirt I've ever seen.
They make themselves not.
I don't care if you're queer. Why would you wear this? This is ugly. Kids going to a pride parade. You got a little pride skirt for your kid. Super queer.
Just like all...
It's like a superpower.
They
Honestly,
will
Target,
make fun
what is
of...
going on? This is pretty...
Like, you know me, I got political shirts. Most of what I wear are political shirts. You know, I got my kind of boomerific ones, of course. Like, I'd say one of the most... I have two shirts that are pretty boomer. One is LGBT, but it's like... It's a Statue of Liberty, a gun, beer, and Trump. And another one is just Trump standing with his arm crossed and goes, "How may I offend you today?" Those are like my two most boomerific shirts. Most of my other political shirts are either like just straight up a message like defund Ukraine, or, you know, something along those lines. I have a shirt that has a pink movie ticket on it and says trans women are men, and most of them have penises too. So, you know, stuff like that. Things that are like memes and kind of edgy. These shirts are just fucking like straight up boomer shirts. Like, what is this Woodstock parody?
Disgusting. A whole collection for Pride. The tucking bathing suit, though. This is something new. I have yet to see a bathing suit that is for tucking.
Okay. Why do you keep cutting it out? Interesting. Like Tim Pool, lol, what the fuck? CEO of Target, Brian Cullen, selling out to the LGBTQ+ community. So Tim Pool's response is, lol, what the fuck? From girls' bathing suits made for boys with extra room to hide protruding penises, to t-shirts framing queerness as a superpower, the gear sparked anger in parents who saw it as intentionally ushering their children into the alternative sexual lifestyle and gender identities. Quote, boycott Target began to trend on social media as parents and customers spoke up about the collection. Target claimed the tucking swimsuits were only for adults. They made similar claims last year when they began selling breast binders for women. But then why is it in the kids section? I guess it's the ultimate question here. As well as what's called packing underwear. Breast binders are meant to suppress the appearance of breasts. The Pride Adult Tomboy X compression top, launched at the retailer last year, was advertised as being designed to keep you comfortable while letting you have your best self. Just been playing in that delusion for the longest time. The Pride line was advertised by bare-chested women with visible mastectomy scars, so top surgery wounds, from breast removal surgeries as part of sex change procedures. The Packers let women who wish to appear with male stuff, wow, in their underpads with what resembles to be a flaccid phallus under clothes. Pride packing underwear in black inspired confidence, quote, reads the descriptions. Pride packing underwear in a black inspired confidence. So if I get this, I'll just have a giant BBC. Such a kind of a selling point. On the Tomboy X website, the details on packing underwear go further, saying, quote, this version of your classic 6 fly boxer briefs features a deep pocket to securely and comfortably accommodate a soft female to male packer. Packer's a substitute for pecker, got it. Combined with our oh so soft stretchy blend of cotton signature stay put waistband and chafe free mid-length coverage. These briefs ensure comfort and confidence all day long because the packer sits inside the pouch. STP used is not recommended. Much of the gear is gone from Target's website, but the damage has been done. Target now joins other brands that largely have embraced queer and gender ideology at their peril. And to the customer's dismay, Bud Light is still reeling. Oh yeah, we have an update about that coming out later on. From a disastrous marketing partnership with trans TikToker Dylan Mulvaney, who has only last year met President Joe Biden to advise him on how important it is to let children have sex changes. Mulvaney also said misgendering him should be an arrestable offense. This dude needs to shut his fucking mouth. Meanwhile, Newsom is poised to sign. By the way, it would be pretty funny. No one should do this, but if people just posted memes saying Dylan Mulvaney's a guy and tagging Dylan Mulvaney in it, that'd be kind of funny. Now, don't do it, but it'd be kind of funny. And other candies in his state do the chemical. Wait, let me reread this. Meanwhile, Newsom is poised to sign a law banning Skittles and other candies in his state due to chemicals that affect human reproduction, but also passes laws that allow children to seek sex changes without parental knowledge or consent. Newsom's priorities have little to do with those of the rest of the country. Yeah, and I absolutely agree. This is an absolute fucking joke. So, that being said, I'm just going to let the clips play us out from here. I've been your host, James Madison. Let Target burn. I'll talk to y'all later.
We're at Target right now, and there's a lot of controversy going on about all of the Pride stuff that's coming out with kids' clothes and things like that. So we're going to go to the kids section, and we're actually going to see if they're putting weird, creepy, uncomfy stuff on children's clothing. Okay, this is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have Glad You Came Out and I'm So Happy That You're Queer in the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence. So I found an extra small swimsuit in the child section. It says light binding effect on it. And then the bottoms in the kids section, keep in mind, say tuck friendly construction. They're giving it to your kids. If that doesn't give you a reason to boycott Target, I don't know what does. But this shit's getting out of hand. They're targeting children, whether you like it or not. And it's time that people actually do something about it. Because if they don't, then guess what? That shit won't just be in Target, it'll be in every store, ever.
POV. You take your kid to Target.
This is cool. Queen, queen, queen. Queens take care of each other. Mom says I'm supposed to be more organized. Can I work on this for my reading log? Perfect for our beach vacation. Dad, can we pull out your CD player? Fit for anyone and everyone? Let's get this for Mom. Live, laugh, Lebanese. Trains and people will always exist.
That's not what it says.
Christians, now more than ever, it's time for us to go stand in front of Targets and we boycott. We speak out against everything else, but when it comes to this, we are quiet, we are silent, we take the back seat, and we're in hush mode against this spirit that is trying to take over. Now, I'm in Texas, and I already know Texans, y'all got some integrity. I believe there's some citizens, kingdom citizens in Texas that ain't gonna allow this to continue. I'm at the Target in Cedar Hill. I'm gonna hit every Target I can until we make a noise for them to pull this stuff off the shelf and we say enough is enough. And until you move it, we will not give you a dime of our money, Target. This has to be stopped.
I thought it was all over.